Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video we're going to paint the body on the GT-R starting with some Splash Paints Gray Primer. As always, before I start painting, I like to blow the kit off with some air just to make sure there's no dust on it to get caught in that primer. And then we prime the spoiler. The brake calipers, obviously I did all four, I'm just going to show you one. And the front diffuser. And here's one of the mirrors, obviously I did them both, I'm only going to show you one. And the hood. And then for the underbody here, I did prime it using the Splash Paints primer instead of the Tamiya spray can primer, as some of it is painted body color. And by the time I finished the underbody there, it had been about 10 minutes, so I went ahead and did the second coat on the body. Now I put a second coat on everything that I primed here, but I'm only going to show you the body. After priming everything, I go ahead and sand it down real quick with some 1500 grit Tamiya sanding sponges. For the color, I decided on Ruby Stone Red from Splash Paints. I'm also going to do some detail work in black, which I'll show you next. Now again, I fit the undercarriage on here, so I knew exactly how far I needed to paint the wheel wells based on what was going to be visible once the undercarriage was installed. And here's the hood. Now I did paint the underside of the hood as I mentioned in the previous video. I'm looking at putting an engine in this vehicle in the future, so I want to make sure the hood would be able to be opened and would be colored appropriately. And here's the underbody. Again, only the small area here is going to be painted in body color, so that's all I'm going to paint. I'll later tape it off and paint the rest of it semi-gloss black. And here's one of the mirrors. Obviously I painted them both. And one of the brake calipers. Again, I painted all four. I'm just going to show you one. Once again, when I was done, it was about 10 minutes, so I was able to paint the body with the second coat. And once again, I painted everything I showed you previously with the second coat, but I'm only going to show you the body for the second and the following coats. I gotta say, I was really impressed with the color coverage of this paint. I probably could have gotten away with only 2 coats, but I typically like to do 3 of color just to make sure everything's 100% covered. And here's the third coat. Again, I left about 10 minutes in between each coat to let it dry before doing the next. Now, since that was an awful lot of what is essentially pink, I decided to break it up with some Splash Paints Beluga Black. I used this for the rear bumper valance, the roof, the A-pillars, the spoiler, the trim pieces on the mirror, and the front diffuser. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't get a good video of me masking this off. The camera just got in the way too much, so I was not able to show that. I tried again with my current car, and again, it didn't turn out very well. So I'm looking at getting a bipod so I can try to record this and actually show you guys what it looks like to tape all this off. And here's the spoiler. And one of the mirrors, again, painting on both. I'm going to show you one, and the front diffuser. And the second coat. And we're going to put some clear on now with the Splash Paints clear coat. Now I got some of their new 2K Ultra Clear, but I didn't have it by the time I did this one, so this one gets the regular clear. I also put some decals on it. I didn't put all the decals that the kit comes with because I thought it was a little much, so I just put a small handful of decals on the vehicle. Here's the hood. And the spoiler. And the front diffuser. And the mirrors. After giving it about 15 minutes to dry, here's the second coat. And here's coat number 3. again, I like to do my last coat a little bit heavier than the previous, helps reduce orange peel. Now, I did let the vehicle dry for about 3 days. I did do a little bit of wet sanding, not a whole lot. There were just a few little areas. I didn't show it in the video, but it was something I did. Next, I did Tamiya X18 semi-gloss black to do the window trim, the drip rail moldings on the roof, and the trim pieces on the left in front of the door there. I also went ahead and did the inside of the body to simulate some plastic trim around the A and B pillars and the headliner. And with that, the body's done. In the next video, we'll start painting up the rest of the components. After that, we'll begin assembling. Once again, thank you for watching. If you haven't done already, please go ahead and subscribe. If you like, leave a comment. I'm trying to get back to everyone that leaves a comment. I do appreciate your input. Thank you. Have a great time. We'll see you next time.